Nando, so I got an idea for the skit that we could do.
Okay.
If to start out the show. So you're good with that? All right. Oh shit, I left my notes over there. Hold on.
Okay. What the?
I got them. Hold on. I'm coming back. All right. All right. I got my notes here. All right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Welcome in.
I didn't do my research. I didn't because
It's all over. It's all over.
I don't think I've been this kind of, buzzed.
He bit my ear.
Hello. Let's journey to the middle.
This journey to the middle.
You'll meet them all again on their long journey to the middle.
Nando!
What's up, Matt?
Hey, man. Welcome to Journey to the Middle, everybody. I was going to do like a big intro, like, hey, kids! I didn't, because of our topic today. Our topic being 90s cartoons, right?
Hell yeah.
Well, to the yeah. But, we're still locked up here. We're sitting in our houses, and we're just trying to have a good time now, right?
Yeah, still quarantined.
Did you see the One World program last night?
I did not.
You did not.
Mm-mm.
Man, I posted on it too for like, hey, you should watch this. But
I'm sorry, man.
it's okay. So it was pretty sad. Everything was like sad songs. I think there was the Rolling Stones did a more upbeat song. Keith Urban did a more upbeat song too. So that was actually nice. Other than everything was just slow and depressing.
Well, that sucks.
It does. It was too bad because it was a big deal. That's why we ended up watching it. Because it was on like all the major networks. It was on YouTube. It was on Amazon Prime. What else? All over the world they were showing this thing. So.
Well, that's cool. Because you get music while you're at home.
Yeah, so that was nice. Still watching some of the at-home, concert streams. My buddies were playing last night. That was a lot of fun. They always do some type of funny thing. They do it like this. They play Sublime, and then they were having people just text like songs to play.
Oh, okay.
And so we were just throwing them out there, and like over and over, people are just requesting Goo Goo Dolls just to piss the one guy off. I got him to do Paula Cole, the little song. So that was fun, and yeah.
I think I would have been the one guy trying to like piss them off.
Oh, that's basically, I go on there, I watch them play, and I just I troll them the whole time.
Yeah.
The one guy does like Adam Sandler impressions a lot, and so I said everybody has to drink every time he does an Adam Sandler impression. Cheers.
Cheers.
What do you got there today?
I got a little Revolution Brewery anti-hero.
Oh, okay. All right. I like Revolution. I don't like that one.
Are you have another old fashioned?
No, I'm getting low on my bourbon right now, so I just got my rum and Coke. And I had an old fashioned last night, so.
You can't go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else going on in the world of Nando over there?
Besides like practicing the violin and actually I joined the book club, so I'm trying to read that book.
What book are you trying to read?
I don't remember the title.
That's not good. You're not doing very well in this book club.
No. But to be fair, we only just started the book club. We're supposed to start on the 15th, so I'm not like too far behind.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually pretty much bring it up right now.
You should have started the book already, is what you're saying.
I should have. But to be fair, I only got it yesterday. I got all my stuff, I ordered the first 3 books that we were going to have online, so I got it from Amazon yesterday.
Okay.
Let's see what the book list is.
Find the name. It's gonna be Hunger Games.
No, I already read that one.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Bridge of Clay.
What is it?
Bridge of Clay.
Bridge of Clay. All right.
Never read that one.
Obviously. You should have joined a book club where you had already read the book.
But yeah, I feel like I would have been like,
You were
oh my god, I already read it.
You'd be like, oh yeah, like, and just pretend like you're reading it.
Yeah. Like if we had like Catcher in the Rye, I'd be like, oh, dude, totally.
There you go. I don't think they would pick such a classic. I don't know. I'm not in the book club.
No. You want to join and read it for me and then tell me what it's about?
Give you the cliff notes.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally fuck you over though.
Yeah, you probably give me the wrong
I
information.
would not tell you anything is correct. You'd be in there talking about the book, and they'd be like, "Who is he talking about?"
Wait, that wasn't the main character? Son of a...
I really like the part when Rachel and Ross got together. Any hoozles. So 90s cartoons, dude. When we talked about this initially, we were like, "Oh, do you want to do like 10 of them?" And I'm like, I don't know if I could come up with 10.
Right.
I came up with a lot. Actually, 17.
Wow,
I ended up writing down. But like there was a lot, but I narrowed it down to ones I just wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And there was what I looked at, like Inspector Gadget. That was one of the ones I was thinking of talking about, but it actually was all in the 80s.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's 90s cartoons. That's not no. Come on.
I have one of mine that's from the 80s, but I watched it in the 90s.
Okay, well, you break rules. You're
Yep.
a rule breaker. I think maybe a couple of mine started in the 80s, but they went into the 90s. So
Yeah.
I said fine. I did most of my cartoon watching probably late 80s, early 90s anyway. So yeah.
I still do cartoon watching. What are you talking about?
I watch them with the girls. They watch a lot of Gravity Falls, which I think is a pretty clever show. It's a Disney cartoon. There are some other ones that they used to watch a lot. A lot of SpongeBob back in the day, but that's past my time. Maybe not so much yours. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I never watched it, but I know my brother and my sisters watched it.
Yeah.
So-
So I've seen a lot of it because of them. It at times could be a pretty funny show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've got some, like, like a lot of cartoons have, like, a little hidden humor that if you're an adult, you'll catch it. If you're a kid, it'll go right over your head.
Well, that's a great thing with some of the ones that I wrote down. Like, I'll just briefly talk about this one just to kind of get a conversation going. There was a show called Life with Louie, and I wanted to talk about this one, but there was like no info on it because it didn't run long.
Yeah. I think it was only a couple of seasons long.
I think it was 3.
Yeah.
It was by the comedian Louis Anderson, which is a hilarious guy. But they would have adult humor in there that would just right over the kids' heads.
Mm-hmm.
But you learn as you get older and you're a teenager and you start to learn what this stuff means.
Like, wait a second.
Right. It becomes very funny for you. So that's, yeah. So as we go through our list here, I have one rule, which I'd like to not tell you about.
You've been pulling this a couple of times on me now.
I find it enjoyable, and I like to make you squirm. So,
yeah.
One rule: no Simpsons, no Family Guy.
Okay, let me just go ahead and correct this real quick.
Too obvious. It's too obvious.
I know it's too obvious.
I mean, I thought about it, but I'm like, what can I say about Family Guy? It's still on. People are still watching it.
Yeah. And to be fair, Family Guy didn't start until, like, what, 2000? 2000 something?
It actually started at the same time as one of my cartoons that I was going to talk about.
So it was still 90s then?
Yes.
Wow,
It started. I don't think I wrote it down. But one of these, it started at the same time. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't write it down. I want to say it was like 87 or something. No, it had been later than that. Not 87. I'm thinking 97.
Oh, 97, yeah.
Something like that. So, anywho's, you want to rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first?
All right, let's do it.
All right, I got to hold it up here so I don't look like I'm doing anything weird.
Are we doing 1, 2, 3, then shoot? Like
1, 2, 3, then shoot.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. All right.
Paper.
So does that mean you go first then? I don't think we established.
Yeah. Well, I guess I get to pick then. I'll go first if that's cool.
All right.
Okay.
Hit me up.
So this one, I picked this one because, like I said, I did have cartoons that came out in the 80s, but I didn't watch them until like the 90s. And this one actually fits that one. G.I. Joe.
Before we get going,
Okay.
I do have to mention one thing.
Oh.
If you're listening to just the audio portion of this episode, you are going to miss the skit.
Oh, right.
Because when this gets uploaded, the skit's probably not going to be there. I haven't decided, but I don't think I'm going to have the skit on there because it's not going to make sense.
Right.
So if you want to know about the intro skit that we always do, you got to go to YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
then,
see what I saw.
It's a pretty good one. I think it's pretty good. So go ahead, hit me up with your first one, and then we'll come back, and I have something special to tell people. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so G.I. Joe, which I think I probably started watching it, like when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So I'll say like 91 was when I started watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It actually came out in 1983 for 4 seasons. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us watched, G.I. Joe growing up.
G.I. Joe was an 80s cartoon. That's why I had it on my list and I couldn't talk about it.
And you crossed it off? But I watched it in the 90s.
It was a great show, man.
Yeah. Dude, so I don't know if you had you probably had, like toys growing up. I had a couple of them, like the Cobra Kai's, the bad, or not Cobra Kai's, like the Cobra and, Snake Eyes. And I had a couple of the bad guys, like always fighting with each other. And I'm like, like how I said in the last episode where I'm like, man, I kind of wish like I would be a villain. Yeah. Like sometimes I would have the guys from Cobra, beating the good guys just to see what would happen,
Yeah, so two cool things about G.I. Joe, and if I step on some of your facts, I'm sorry, but
it's okay.
Number one is one of the characters, I don't think he was in the very beginning, one of the characters on that cartoon was Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, okay. I don't remember if he was either.
I don't think he was in the beginning, but Sergeant Slaughter was adapted. He was a WWF at the time wrestler that was put into the G.I. Joes. And he became a character, a reoccurring character. I had his little dude and everything.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. He had nothing to do with that show except for having the name of Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And someone there must have went, that's kind of cool. Let's put him in the show.
The funny thing is, we've mentioned before that I go to like conventions. Mm-hmm. Last year, I think it was called GalaxyCon. I actually saw Sergeant Slaughter there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's still around, huh?
Yeah, he was there signing autographs, taking pictures. So, the funny thing was, I knew who he was, but same as you, I kind of knew him as a, WWF wrestler,
Yeah.
Or became WWE.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. World Wildlife Fund or whatever. And then
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. The other cool thing about G.I. Joes is, I don't know if you ever did this, but you can take their arms and legs off.
Yeah.
They were just attached by a rubber band. And then put them onto other guys. I did that all the time. It was so easy. So my dudes ended up all having different arms and everything. I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome.
You start switching them around with like your He-Man action figures too.
Well, you can do it with you can do it with the G.I. Joes. The He-Man figures were bigger.
They were a little bit bigger, yeah.
Yeah, they were bigger.
I think I broke a couple of mine. So I think that's one of the reasons why most of the action figures that I have, or after a certain point, I've left them in their box. And why don't you take them out and play with them? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna destroy everything that I open, so it's staying in its in its box, in its little container.
Yeah, I didn't keep any of mine. I think that I don't know what happened to them. Probably got sold at a garage sale or something when I got older. I don't know. I should have kept them, man, because some of that stuff becomes worth some money later on. I had He-Man, I had G.I. Joe, I had Turtles.
Thundercats.
And I had a lot of stuff. It took me forever to get all 4 turtles, so let me tell you.
Yeah. I imagine.
Yeah. But you had to wait for a birthday to come around and a Christmas to come around, so.
It's either that or you spent your allowance on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I didn't really get an allowance until much later. I think it was much older, and by then I was on the music, so. Yeah. All right. So yeah, good pick. 80s.
I know.
This guy doesn't listen to elections. I don't know how you get by in life. I mean, I think I gotta flip my page. All right, so the first one I'm gonna talk about, and this was kind of my reference in the beginning of the whole "Hey Kids" thing, man. Garfield and Friends.
Oh, okay.
Now Garfield was started in '88, went to '94. This is probably very top of my list on cartoons. I had the comic books when I was young. I had like all of them. I don't even know how many there were. I had at least 25 of them, I would say. And they weren't like comic book size, like a Superman comic, but they were like you take the screens that you're looking at us in. They were like more rectangle shape, not as tall, like, much shorter than a book or anything, but they were pretty thick. And they had, I don't even know how many pages, but a ton of pages. And I loved it, man. I collected all of them. And then like in 1988, it came out with a cartoon. And I was like, oh, loved it. I had a giant Garfield that my mom gave me as an adult. Okay.
Yeah.
When I had my first kid, that was probably like, it's sitting down 3 feet tall.
Damn.
Yeah.
Big Garfield.
My wife was like, what are we going to do with this thing? I'm like, we're just going to put it in the kids' room. And that's where it's going to sit. And this thing, so it sat next to my daughter. So my daughter had a crib, and then the crib had like a nightstand attached to it. She learned to crawl out onto that nightstand. It was nightstand dresser. And then from that, get onto the Garfield and then climb down. Wow. Yeah. So that was fun. Like you wake up in the morning, you go in there like, kids on the floor. But yeah, so the Garfield cartoon, it was pretty cool. It was funny. Garfield hates Mondays. Who cannot relate to that, right? You hate Mondays, right?
Oh, I hate Mondays.
We had lasagna for dinner the other night, and I looked at Izzy.
Perfect.
And she's like eating the lasagna. She's like, oh, this is like my favorite dish is lasagna. I'm like, Izzy, do you hate Mondays? She's like, I do hate Mondays. And like everyone at the table is laughing, and like she didn't get it.
Oh, you know what I like about Garfield? I mean, obviously Garfield was hilarious, but like they didn't spend like so much time or any time at all because he never moved his lips.
Garfield did not.
Yeah, so it was great because like
Odie didn't, Nermal didn't. You didn't silence your phone.
It's not my phone. It's
That's like right next to the mic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Jacqueline's laptop.
That's okay. It's okay. So Garfield, you were saying?
Yeah. Well, so like, I mean, he didn't spend his time like moving around, like moving his mouth around. So you can actually just like focus on the actual cartoon versus like, oh, like what's going on?
Well, not to mention, like he didn't really move around a lot, anyways, except for when he's kicking Odie off the table.
What's his name? I forgot what his name was.
Who?
The dog.
The dog, Odie.
Yeah.
And then there was Nermal, who was the cutest kitten.
Yeah, that was like the girl, right? The little girl.
Yeah. Then there was John Arbuckle, who was named after a coffee place, a place called like Arbuckle Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Jim Davis, the creator, I guess, like really liked the name. He picked up on it. So, Jim Davis, I almost got a chance to meet him. I have his autograph on a stuffed Garfield. My mom works for a balloon company, and they had a Garfield license. And so Jim Davis came in one day, and she got him to sign the Garfield for me. I'm like, wait, Jim Davis was in your office and you did not call me?
Oh, man.
Like, oh, man.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, it would probably be good. I'd be like, hey. So the Garfield show went to 1994. They actually did really well in their last season, but CBS like cut their budget and they're like, nah. So they didn't do another one.
I don't know why.
Yeah. The other thing is too, which was really crazy, is do you remember? So it was Garfield and Friends.
Yeah.
So they had Orson and Wade the Duck and a bunch of other characters on there, right? So those were the Friends. So Jim Davis originally just wanted to do just the U.S. Acres, so the Friends part of it. He just wanted to just do that cartoon. And CBS is no, we want Garfield. So he's like, fine, we'll do Garfield and Friends. So that's how they got the two of them together. And that second cartoon was awesome. They were really funny too. What's that?
I don't think I ever watched it.
It was the Friends. They had the U.S. Acres, and
No, I know, but like like you said, how it was like 2 parts. I don't know if I ever watched.
So they would have a regular Garfield cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And then they would have the U.S. Acres cartoon. They were like roughly 15 minutes or whatever, or 11 minutes. And then they would have a Garfield quickie at the very end of the episode.
Yeah.
Which was just like a Garfield short, which was just made up from the comics.
Oh, okay.
So they would just put it in the animated form.
Yeah, because it was on the newspaper. I remember.
Yeah, it was in the newspaper, and he had the books as it got more popular, and then they would turn those into the Garfield quickies on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So the show, interestingly enough, it got into syndication because they had 121 episodes, but only 73 of those episodes were used for syndication, which was weird. So like,
Yeah.
48 something like episodes that were not in syndication, which is crazy. And of course, Garfield went on farther, and it's been recreated on I think Nickelodeon, I want to say, where they have like the new Garfield and Friends, or just new Garfield and stuff.
I haven't caught the new episodes of it though.
I've watched them, but they just don't catch my attention like it used to. I'd probably be more nostalgic to watch the old ones.
Yeah.
I
like the older ones too.
Yeah. He's animated differently too now. He's a little bit more square,
Is
I
it
think
really?
he walks around a lot more. He's less lazy, maybe. I don't know.
The opposite of me.
Yeah, I mean, Senor Garfield over there.
Yeah.
So the last thing, so Binky the Clown. Do you remember the clown in the show? He's the one that yelled, "Hey kids." He was always. It was like his favorite show, like very reminiscent of Krusty the Clown.
Of course.
They actually had on the Garfield show. They had a Binky burger, just like Krusty Burger.
I don't remember him though.
You don't remember the clown? I'll have to send you an image or something. Yeah. But many people thought Binky was just a parody of Bozo.
Oh.
So. But yeah, man, Garfield and Friends.
I like that pick. I actually, I wrote it down because I like you. I had a list.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I wonder if he's gonna pick that one. So I was like, I'll keep away from it, and then I picked The Simpsons instead, and you said I couldn't do it.
Too obvious, man.
I know.
You want to tell people about The Simpsons that everybody knows about?
No, everybody knows about it.
that it was like, they're however 30 years old now or something. I'll tell you what. You want to talk about The Simpsons?
They're the same age. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You want to talk about The Simpsons?
No.
No. Okay. I'll let you do one thing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna do our ad real quick, and then after the ad, this will give you some time to think about your favorite Simpsons episode.
Ooh. Okay.
And I will tell you my favorite episode.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna quickly. Oh man. Oh, I lost it. Someone sent me a text. I lost what I was looking for. Oh man. All right. So I'll tell you about the other thing real quick. So there is a comedy festival that is going on online. It was supposed to be like a actual comedy show where people can go and just check out a bunch of new and upcoming comics, but it turned into this online thing. So you can actually go and check out like independent comedy videos. I'm going to post a link with this episode.
Okay.
But if you go to the website and you type in the code JOURNEY, you will get $5 off the admission to check out these independent movies. And that's through the end of April. And I think it possibly might be going into May a little bit, but check it out. I'm going to put the website and everything that you got to go to in the comments, in the description of all of our formats, including YouTube, and type in the code JOURNEY for the discount.
I get it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and do that. Check it out. It's a great way to have a night at home and check out some comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. All right. So 30 seasons worth. I think it's pretty hard to pick like a favorite episode.
Oh, I have a favorite.
You do have a favorite?
Yes.
Okay. but there is, and this is probably more like season like 20 or something like that. It's one of the newer ones.
Okay.
And it's the Screamapillar, I think it's called. It's a
Hmm.
little caterpillar, and he just goes ah ah ah.
Oh, no, wasn't yeah, it was Homer. Didn't Homer
Yeah.
get traumatized? Or first it was like Mo that got traumatized or something at the gorge, right?
Yeah, it was.
And
I
then
think
like
it was, no.
yeah, and then I think it was one of them, or maybe it was Homer the whole time. I don't remember. But they were trying to figure out why he was doing it. And
Yep.
it came back to like what happened when they were kids.
But it's a great one, man. I mean, obviously there's like so many good episodes, and like the fact that like they've predicted the future and and whatnot. But the one thing I wanted to mention, since you're
All right.
since you're letting me do this, I how like in the opening scenes like Bart's writing some stuff on the chalkboard.
Uh-huh.
So I actually wrote a couple of them.
Okay.
I'll only do 3. I did not see Elvis. I will not call my teacher hotcakes, and underwear should be worn on the inside. And I know they've got like a ton of other ones, but I picked 2 from like the first season, and then like just one random one out of like the however many episodes they have, like 300 and whatever, 400 and whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea. You can watch them all on Disney Plus.
Yeah. But I heard that they cut off some of the like the content or whatever. I don't know if it's like,
Probably it's Disney, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I think there was one of those gags where it was Lisa writing on the board, and it said something like Bart's in the bathroom or something like that. All right. Do you want to do an actual cartoon, or shall I proceed?
Oh, well, if it's me, then I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. Let's see which one. Hang on. I want to make sure I got this ready. Let me see if you can.
Now's the time.
No, well, what is it? Can you see it?
Yeah, I stayed away from X-Men because I knew you would do it.
But this is what I wanted to show everyone. I have all of the DVDs for it.
So we got 5 seasons there.
5 seasons, and since I was obviously preparing for the pod, I'm like, you know what? Let me just throw on one of these episodes real quick. So I threw on like season 4, and just for the past like hour and a half watching X-Men.
That's pretty good. We talked about X-Men before with like, because they had like Jubilee, who like just doesn't appear in anything, but she's very big in the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah, and that's one of the things actually. Jacqueline and I were talking about. Like obviously different characters. One of the things I want to mention, it actually cool thing. It actually started. First episode aired on Halloween of 1992.
Nice.
Right? Isn't that pretty cool? And it ran through like September 20th, 1997. But like everybody knows who X-Men is. You got a lot of mutants, some good, some bad. Professor Xavier, like trying to with the good side, and then you've got like Magneto among like other villains, Apocalypse and whatnot. Trying to like destroy the world or remake the world. Kind of like Thanos with the whole snap thing. But that one of the reasons. I mean, obviously, like with the whole hair thing, I love Wolverine. I kind of whenever I go to Comic-Cons and stuff like that, I kind of dress up like him. But yeah, obviously I was gonna pick X-Men as one of my favorites.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, see, I had to stay away from it. Like, it's literally on my list of like the ones I wrote down to possibly talk about.
Yeah.
And I think it was like, if you like go back and look on the internet, it's like one of the top like 50 cartoons of the 90s or whatever. It's in that list somewhere for everybody's list. But yeah, cool, man. So I went, the next one, probably a little bit more recent. So this one started in 1999. So it kind of just made the cut.
Makes it, yeah, it counts.
Makes it. Ran for 3 seasons up to 2002. Got picked up by Comedy Central in 2010 and ran again for another 3 years. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm going to say Ren and Stimpy.
No.
Oh.
No. But it was by Simpsons creator,
Okay.
Matt Groening. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Groening?
Groaning.
Yeah. Whatever. That guy. Futurama.
Oh, okay.
Futurama, dude, great show. Another one of those with like a lot more adult humor because this was a primetime cartoon.
Yeah.
So an interesting thing I found out by researching this one is Matt G, we'll call him Matt G. So he has a tendency to use the letter J in names. So like the main character is Philip J. Fry, Homer J. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is because of the creator of Rocky and Bullwinkle. The creator's name is Jay Ward.
Okay.
He used Bullwinkle J. I forget what they call his last name, but so he always used that, and because his name was Jay, so Matt did the same thing.
I did not know that.
So that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So you watch Futurama, I hope, right?
Yeah.
So there was a big thing with like they always had like celebrities or ex-presidents, and they were just in like
The little
heads were just in jars, you know, and they could talk and everything. So that actually came from a Simpsons bit. There was a bit with Bart with his head in the jar, just like that, and like the nameplate said, "Kid who said I didn't do it."
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah. So that's where it came from. It came from the Simpsons, and they actually just brought it over and just made it a thing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't realize that. That
another Simpsons crossover.
Yeah.
If you look at the android's dungeon,
mm-hmm.
the android that is on the window or sign or whatever of the store looks just like Bender from Futurama.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that was intentional. I couldn't find out. I was trying to look and see if this was intentional, like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could not find out if it was, but it's like very similar.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's like, oh, it's the same guy.
Well, that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah. And lastly, my rest of my cartoons, I believe, let's see, they have at least someone famous that did a voice in them. And Katie Seagal played Leela from like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And Married with Children fame. So
I'm like, I know where she's from.
Yeah, dude. It was a very easy pickup. I think everybody knew immediately when they started watching that. They're like, oh, that's Katie Seagal's voice. Because she didn't alter her voice at all. She just used her regular voice. And everybody, that was the only character she voiced. So anybody else who was a voice on that show did multiple characters except for her.
So that's pretty cool. She just had the one.
Easy enough, right? They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey, we want a name to the show. Come on, you know. So
I will say this: I kind of liked when they X off her character in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah, she was a bitch on that show, man.
That
show, dude. Like,
yeah.
The end of that show, I was very into that show, and I knew what was going to happen in the end. The way they did that, whew.
Did it piss you off the way like The Sopranos did?
The Sopranos didn't piss me off much. I kind of lost interest halfway through The Sopranos.
I actually did too.
I kind of want to go back at some point and watch some Sopranos.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, let's see if we can keep going. But I didn't. I'd never done it. I'm like, So, Sons of Anarchy did not piss me off. Most endings to shows don't really upset me, you know.
I just wanted it to be like, I don't know. I think a little more of a bang. You know what I mean? Like I felt like he could have gone off a different way. Was it Jack, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The main character. I kind of felt like he could have. I don't know. Maybe I envisioned like a better death for him. I guess I don't know.
That's pretty much what. When I was watching it, and I'm like, he's on the bike, and he was like driving straight towards like a semi, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
And
yeah.
he kind of.
I'm like, oh, this is yeah. I'm like, okay, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This sucks. All right, so cool. Yeah, Sons of Anarchy, a little tangent there. Sorry. So hey, we gotta talk about something real quick, bud.
Yeah.
I know you know what we gotta talk about.
I know. Let me pull it up too.
Soul Boutique. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Instagram. They have individually handcrafted bows. Each one is made from quality faux leather. Several bow designs available to fit everyone's needs. And not to mention, they have, and we've been mentioning it, they have more than just bows. They got wristlets.
Yep.
They got some new things. She was telling me about it the other day.
Yeah.
New stuff.
They expanded it to have like new little earrings. Yeah. I know we mentioned it last time that maybe I should get a couple, accessorize a little bit.
It's not going to help.
No, it won't help. But they are pretty cool. They got a couple new designs on that, so it's nice to see that they're expanding, just like you said, to more than just bows and whatnot. But it's cool. Definitely check them out. Luna Iso Boutique.
Yep, check them out. You can find them on our Facebook page, but you can also just do the work. Search Luna Iso Boutique, Bowtique.
Nice.
Thanks. I thought I was going to screw it up in the middle of that.
I did too, actually.
You're like, oh man, he's going to spell it right here. Yeah. So I believe we're on you, right? Because we just talked about Futurama.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love Futurama too.
All right, what do you got?
Ready? Okay.
What do you got?
This one, it aired from August 31st, 1997, through January 16th, 2006. So kind of, right at the end of it too, but still made the cut.
I'll take it.
Recess.
Recess.
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't I say that at the top of the hour?
Yeah.
I was saying something about the kids watching Recess, right?
Yep. Yeah. And the best thing is, I think I was at a Halloween party last year, and a couple actually dressed up as Spinelli, and I think it was what was his name? I forgot the guy's name.
I don't know that show well enough, because if you're talking 97,
Yeah.
I'm senior year in high school, so
So you probably didn't watch it.
I've seen it just because of the kids watching it. So
But I mean, the cool thing was because I saw them and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are dressed like Recess characters. Like yeah, you're the first one that got it right. I'm like, that's right. I know my Recess.
I know my Recess. I can't remember the character's name right
Can't
now.
remember. But and he was one of the main characters. I thought it was Mikey for a second, but he was the bigger guy. They had it's basically a story of 6 fourth graders who are they're going to school, every day. And their mission was to kind of protect the other kids of the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's a cool concept. What's the most important part of a day for a kid? Recess. Yeah. So I liked watching it. There was he had a couple of clicks on there. I think the Ashleys would say scandalous, that was their
Oh yeah, that's like Heather's or your Mean Girls, man.
Yeah.
The Ashleys, okay.
The Ashleys, yeah. I forget all of their last names, but they're like, oh, scandalous.
You need a scandalous T-shirt now.
No, I'm not getting a scandalous T-shirt. Only if it says scandalous, not a
That's
scandalous.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You say it's scandalous on it.
Yeah. All right, then I'll do that.
Cool, man. All right, so I got a good one for you.
Okay.
All right, 1987 and 1996. This show ran for 10 seasons. Another Simpsons connection, sort of, is that It was the longest running cartoon until the Simpsons overtook them 2 years after they went off the air.
I don't know who it is.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, and my man, Michelangelo.
So your top pick is Michelangelo.
He's my favorite.
Okay.
He's my favorite. I mean, come on. Dude loves pizza. He's the funniest of all of them.
Who would I pick? I mean, you're not wrong. All the turtles are great, so you can't go wrong with any one of the turtles.
Mm-hmm. You're dodging the question. Who's your favorite turtle?
I'm gonna have to go with Leonardo on this one.
Leonardo? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he was the leader of them.
He was kind of the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, Raphael was a dick, but
he was kind of angry.
He wasn't like that in the cartoon version. He was like that in the original comics.
Okay.
And he was like that in the movies. The cartoon version, it was actually the only time that they never actually had a Leonardo Raphael beef.
Oh, okay.
So, little tidbit.
Well, I love this
tidbit I wrote down. But so yeah, dude, this thing had 193 episodes. Damn. 193. The original comics, they all had red bandanas. And when it switched to the cartoon, they're like, oh, we got to differentiate these guys somehow. So gave them some personality. And the comics were much darker than the actual cartoon because they wanted to make it somewhat kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Comics, it was like there was blood and guts, and I mean they had swords and knives, and they were slicing people up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ninjas.
Right. So, and also on that topic, season 4. So Michelangelo had the nunchucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So season 4, they started phasing out the nunchucks, and you would see them less and less.
Okay.
And they started using like this grappling hook much more. And by season 5, the nunchucks were gone.
I wonder why they did that. Did they think that the nunchucks are too like?
The nunchucks started getting outlawed in certain areas, so they phased it out and then just cut it out completely. So
I did not know
actually, after season 5, you don't see the nunchucks anymore. But that's what he's still known for.
Yeah.
I mean, half of that show he didn't have them, so pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, man, I followed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a while. Watched, I don't even know if I've seen all these shows, all the episodes, but I watched all the movies. And I've said this before, they replay terribly.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Now the movies, you mean like the movies that just came out, or like the ones that came
The
out?
originals. The originals. The first one.
Okay.
Secret of the Ooze. I don't remember the third one.
Or either.
As a kid, I loved them, but
Yeah.
I've seen them since. I'm like, nope, can't watch them. They're not good now.
No, they're not. Especially with like all the technological advancements, you're like, man, that kind of looks like it looks a little rough.
Yeah. But I've seen some of the more recent movies. I was whatever.
You're okay with them?
Yeah, they're there. They're fine.
I think I saw the first one in theaters, and I waited for the second one to come out, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah. I think that back in the day, I believe I had them all on VHS.
Oh.
VHS.
I do have some stuff on VHS, which is kind of pretty cool.
I've gotten rid of all VHS. I still have my books and DVDs. I don't know why. I still have them all. We actually did watch something on DVD the other night. Shoot, I can't remember what it was. Dogma. That's what it.
Dogma was actually pretty cool. I like that movie.
We tried to look it up on Amazon because you could like find anything on there.
Yeah.
It's through like a different app. It will tell you which app it is. It's not there. So I think it was on Netflix, but I think it's gone off Netflix. But so I had to pull out my DVD to watch it. And my books are they're massive. There's like 300 of them. And so we're flipping through, and it ended up being on the first damn page that we missed. Because back in Dogma didn't have a full label.
Oh, okay.
Dogma around the center. And it's one
pretty much like a black cover on the side or whatever.
Just it's the same color as the CD. Both sides are the same color.
Oh, okay.
One last thing. Mm-hmm. Famous person who voiced the character on Turtles. James Avery voiced Shredder, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Wow. Because I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air too.
Pardon my Yeti. Yeah, he was Uncle Phil, and he voiced Shredder.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I like your pick.
Thank you.
I'm gonna claim it as my own. So that was my pick, man. What are you gonna do?
Oh, that was your pick?
Yeah.
Was that your last pick?
No.
Pardon my Yeti. My throat's getting dry.
All right. Well, so and I ran this by you before. My my number one pick.
Oh,
this
right.
Yeah.
This is the part where I talk less on the episode now.
Right. No, man. I'm gonna need you to fact check on everything on this that I'm gonna tell you and
fact check.
Fact check.
Sure. Yes, it's all true.
If you look over my left shoulder, I think you could see one of the characters. His name is Vegeta. You're like, oh yeah,
I recognize him.
So he's actually one of my favorite characters on the show. It's Dragon Ball Z. So this is actually another one that just started in 1989, but it ran through 1996. So it was like on that cusp.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to sneak it in. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. The cool thing about this show, it actually started. It's Japanese anime, but it started off as Dragon Ball, where like the main protagonist Goku was like a little kid.
So it started off just being called Dragon Ball.
Right. But
so somebody went, you know what would make this show perfect?
put a Z at the end of it.
Put a Z, and it will be like cool.
Right. It's great. The one cool thing about the show, because like like even with like the Simpsons, let's say even the Turtles, everyone stays the same age. But with this show, like he actually grows up. So like in Dragon Ball, he's like a little kid. In Dragon Ball Z, he's like more of like a young teenager moving on to an adult. So like as the show progresses, he grows up, and you see his kids grow up. Vegeta, you see him go from a really, really bad guy to a good guy. So like that's one of the reasons why I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Like you see some differing characters on there, but obviously some of them become friends. Some of them kill each other. A lot of martial arts involved. Jacqueline says it's just a bunch of guys just fighting, so she doesn't like it. But I'm like, you know what? When I was a kid, like that's the one thing that I was like, man, I wish I could go around flying around like just martial arts, like beating people up. But yeah, I never got the flying thing though. So
Yeah.
nuts to that.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Honestly, I'll say this. I thought that show came out much later. Because I wasn't even aware of it at all.
I think it was on like an odd hour. I want to say it was like probably like 6 a.m. like on Saturdays or something. Yeah.
I was not awake that early on Saturday, much less.
I had
early on a Saturday. I watched like all the Saturday cartoons, Smurfs and stuff like that. But
yeah.
All right. Well, I got one left.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hold on. Here we go.
DuckTales. All right.
DuckTales. Love DuckTales. Wore the shirt just for the show.
Nice. I watched it too.
Yeah. What's funny is I've worn the shirt at work and people are like, "Oh, DuckTales," and like I have mentioned like an idiot that I can remember the song in the beginning of the show.
Well, I can't.
You know what, Nando? Sometimes life is like a hurricane. You're in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. That's all I'm giving you.
Wow, I didn't even know that much.
Yeah. So Donald is like going away with the Navy. So he leaves his nephews Huey, Dewey, Louie with his rich Uncle Scrooge. And the funny thing about that is Donald was never actually in the Navy in any previous form at all, except for this show.
Just for that one.
Just for a reason to leave him with his uncle. The network originally wanted Donald to be a big part of the show, but they're like, no, it's going to take away from the main characters.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be a distraction, and like he's really hard to understand.
He is.
Interesting thing about the show, it actually rolls into several other shows after that. The one character, Launchpad McQuack, was kind of the replacement for Donald for the comedic value and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was the pilot. I don't know if you remember Launchpad.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Oh, man. So Launchpad actually went on to another show, Darkwing Duck.
I saw that one.
Love Darkwing Duck.
Yep.
And then also another show that was considered a spin-off was Tailspin with Blue. I forget who else was on the show. But DuckTales, Tail, spin-off. Tailspin. Yep. That's what they got the name.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. That puts it all together. Nice. So the guy who voiced Uncle Scrooge, and I don't know, man, there's only going to be a few people that get this, but the guy's name was Alan Young. So Alan Young, he started off his career, well, many things, but most notably Mr. Ed. He played Wilbur in the show Mr. Ed, black and white television.
Oh wow! I'm like, I don't know if I ever saw Mr. Ed.
Yeah, so I was way too young, but I've heard of it. I've seen clips. I thought it was pretty interesting that he came to a children's cartoon in the late 80s, 90s to voice something when he was a black and white television actor.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice, nice career. Like you started off black and white films and then you go to
So, lastly, there's a reboot that's still airing right now. It started in 2017 of DuckTales. So it's pretty much the same idea, same characters and everything. But listen to this though: the cast of the new reboot: David Tennant from the phone booth, Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, okay.
Ben Schwartz. I don't know if you know who he is, but he plays what's the guy's name? John Ralphio from Parks and Rec,
Oh yeah.
like Tom's friend.
Yeah.
Danny Pudi, or I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. I'm terrible with last names and stuff. I really am. There's one on here. I literally Googled how to say her last name.
Oh.
But he's from Community. Plays Arvin, I believe.
I never watched Community. I heard it's funny though.
Yeah. Bobby Moynihan from Saturday Night Live.
Yep, I know him.
This is the last name I had to Google. Kate Micucci.
Did you say it right?
I did say it right. It's Micucci.
Okay. You sure you just got it right?
I got it right.
Okay.
I'm talking about Micucci.
Okay.
So she's a comedian. She has a special with another comedian called Garfunkel and Oates. It's hilarious. She's funny. She's got this squeaky voice. She plays Webby in the show. She has, I believe, yeah. So she plays like ukulele in a lot of her bits. And there's like a special she has, or like something that she's doing that's called Playing with Micucci. What?
I'm just wondering if that's her real name or if it's like her stage name.
It is. No, I looked it up. Oh, if it's her real name.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's her real name.
Okay.
I found a clip of her with Conan O'Brien.
Mhm.
That's literally just a back and forth, just like we just did, of her
Just with that.
saying her name. She's like, "That's my name."
Wow. Could you imagine how much crap she got in like school?
Well, once they learned what Micucci could mean, yeah. Probably. And the last one I got is Beck Bennett, who is currently on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
All of them voices on the newest version of DuckTales.
Wow. That's a good lineup right there.
Dude, I remember seeing them before it came out, and they showed like previews of this. I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd you get all those people? That's insane. Yeah. So that's all I got, man. That's the last of my list.
You know what? That was the last of my list. For your other, like, you know, I know you probably had a couple other cartoons. Did you have I don't remember if Scooby-Doo came out like was it 80s or maybe even before?
I didn't look that one up, but Scooby-Doo would have been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I
even threw down like Looney Tunes, but I figured that one was a little too early too.
You know what I forgot to do? Oh, that's probably the best one. I'm just gonna mention this real quick. I can't believe I didn't mention this. Animaniacs.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I didn't even
Wacko and Dot.
Fantastic show. Let me tell you about their Animaniacs kind of was somewhat of a spin-off of Tiny Toons. Mm-hmm. And also the show Pinky and the Brain was a spin-off of Animaniacs. Mm-hmm. So I have an aunt who worked on those shows.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and like everybody was telling me this when I was growing up. Like I loved Animaniacs, one of my favorites. And everybody was telling me this when I grew up, and I actually just met her like for the first time maybe 3 years ago.
Wow.
So I mean, she wasn't like, if you watch the credits on the shows, she's not on the credits, so she's not that like in there. I think she colored the characters and stuff from, you know, they would like color them and then send them in snail mail or something like that. But yeah, so she actually worked on those shows.
That's really cool.
But Animaniacs was a crazy show. I don't want to talk about it too much because like there's this program we want to watch tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I'm also the Bulls thing that we've been waiting for forever. What was it called? The Dance or something like that?
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance. So me and Nando talked about this. We're like, all right, we're going to start at this time because we want to watch this. It starts at 8:00 our time. We're recording on Sunday for the first 2 episodes and start in 9 minutes. So
we have to wrap it up.
So we got to wrap it up.
You know, like I actually have like their like championship series, like the bowl stuff. Like on DVD because I'm like, man, how great is it? Because they got like cool games on there. Like Game 6 of the Utah Jazz and whatnot. So I'm like, man, I could just throw this on right now. But I'm like, no, I should probably watch some cartoons so we can get ready.
I got some memorabilia. Next time I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
Because I got stuff. I rearranged the room a little bit from the last time you were here, trying to make a little bit more space.
Yeah.
And since I've been home, I was rearranging the house anyway. So my memorabilia is mostly in a box right now because of when we remodeled the house. But I got one thing I found. I got one thing I pulled out that has to be on display. So
your tutu.
What's that?
Your tutu.
My tutu? No. My Walter Payton signed football.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story behind it later. But any hoozles. So I'll just give you a couple of the other ones I wrote down here. I briefly talked about a few of them. The Critic. It was a John Lovitz cartoon on Comedy Central. Mm-hmm. King of the Hill. You talked about that one. Eek the Cat.
Oh, I forgot about Eek the Cat.
Yeah. Eek the Cat. I don't think it was long-lived. And then Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which was on like the same time as like Gummy Bears and I forget what else. I think the DuckTales was on at that time too or something. So Chip and Dale. So that's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all Nando's got. So hey, thanks for listening. Journey to the Middle on Facebook. We're on YouTube and stuff. I got episode 2 from a long time ago on YouTube. Obviously just the audio. But check that out. Just uploaded that today. What else we got? We got rate, review, subscribe, listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts just about. Because I've uploaded it to a million places. And other places catch it and they add it to their podcast list. So we're in more places that I even know about at this point. So that's pretty cool. So rate us, review us, subscribe to us, share us with your friends. Tell
tell us about your favorite cartoons too.
Tell us about your favorite cartoons. Leave us a message. We got on the Facebook Messenger. You could just comment on the episode. Tell us what you think about Nando's picks.
They're all great. Oh, come on.
They're all right.
They're okay.
And as we always do, Nando, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Ta-ta for now.